What's going on, YouTube? It is T90 Official, and I am so excited to show you this game. So excited that this is actually the first free moment that I've had since I have returned from my small getaway, and I'm exhausted. It is past midnight for me, but while it was gone, I really wanted to cast this, and I couldn't, so first time I got the opportunity, decided to load up Age of Empires 2 and bring this to the YouTube people. Guys, the support recently has been insane. Thank you so much, and I'm so excited with all the future developments in Age of Empires 2. Many people are asking me what I think about Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition. I will have a video hopefully by this weekend. Really depends on how fast my editor works. That discusses everything about that, gives you my thoughts and opinions, goes over the things that people might have missed. But exciting times ahead for Age 2 fans and myself, obviously. So this game is between two of my favorite players to cast. MbL has been around the scene for years. DauT has been around the scene for decades. But they play a lot of games, especially MbL. And there's always entertaining matches to be found when I'm online because of these two. MbL is playing in the blue as the Britons. And then DauT is on the other side of this Arabia map. And he is playing as the Berbers. It's a pretty close Civ matchup. I would give a slight edge to Britons, especially because of DauT's map. But we'll talk about the normal things, the resource locations, which is always important, the Civ strengths, and then I'll get down to the nitty-gritty and talk a little bit about what this title is on this YouTube video and why it's there, and why the thumbnail looks the way it does, because this is kind of rare. What we're going to see has been around a while, but it's rare you see it, especially between two pros like this. So first off, DauT is obviously not Viper. And this is obviously not a tournament, because holy crap, this map. This map is going to be really rough for him. He's surrounded by hills. He has all three of his golds on this hill, with his main stone. And he's against Britons. So if MbL were to get to those long-ranged crossbows, or even those longbows, he could range all of DauT's resources. So for DauT, priority number one is always going to be this hill. And on the plus side, if he secures this hill, if he gets a castle here later on, siege workshop, just anything to protect it, then he does protect all three of his gold. So that's one way to look at it. It's either all or nothing for him, but still could be decent. Still could be decent. For MbL, MbL has his main gold behind his walls, and he's walling rather early here. He's also going for an awkward wall, probably just because he hasn't scouted those trees, yeah. And then his second and third gold are pretty vulnerable as well. So it's even in that sense. I can see MbL having some big problems if he were to lose his hill, because then he can't take his main stone, then he wouldn't be able to take this gold, and more than likely if DauT has control of this hill, he'd probably have control of the right-hand side. So, name of the game is definitely going to be map control. It's a big reason why players do play Arabia, because they have to go for aggressive options instead of passive options like on some other maps. And also, with user patch in Arabia, I think there's like hundreds of thousands of different possible generations, so it's always something different. But you'll notice that MbL is walling up awful early here. It's not common to see that if someone's going to be going for feudal age attack. And he might be going for one of those classic strategies, the Drush FC, which stands for Drush Fast Castle. And there's the barracks, pretty much confirming that MbL will be doing this. There's very few civilizations where the Drush Fast Castle works with nowadays. The current meta is pretty punishing. You see a lot of men-at-arms. Men-at-arms are so strong in early feudal age. You see a lot of towers as well at times. And men-at-arms and towers is a great way to fight the Drush Fast Castle. But recently, MbL has been doing this a lot with Britons and Ethiopians, even Mayans. I think that any strong archer civilization that has an eco bonus can do really well with the Drush Fast Castle. And DauT's going to find out now that that's exactly what MbL is doing. He sees the barracks. He unfortunately ran into MbL's town center, so his scout's already weak. But he probably assumes that MbL is going to be sending the militia forward. So there's a lot of content packed into this game. There's a lot of talking points. But before we get to the whole chat thing, I want to talk about this strategy and why it works. MbL is making 3 militia and staying in the Dark Age to continue to create villagers. If you look on that first number on the Capture Age overlay, that is the villager number for MbL. So because his TC isn't idle, because his TC is not advancing to the next stage, he's still creating villagers. So he's actually going to bring in more resources than DauT will, because DauT's only at 20 villagers at the moment. DauT is prepping for feudal age attack. The idea of going to feudal age is obviously to get some benefit to that in getting man-at-arms, maybe getting his eco techs like lumber camps or farm techs, all those things. But what's cool about MbL's situation is that he can take engagements versus DauT before DauT gets any benefit from feudal age. And that's what you want to do with the Drushfast Castle. You don't necessarily need to kill, but if you can delay your opponent, give yourself time to bank up those resources, or just attack, just kill as much as you can, it works out. And I'd say so far this actually is not bad for MbL. I think DauT Civilization would ideally be opening up with scouts here. He's gone for what was initially going to be man-at-arms. I think we'll just cancel that upgrade now or forget about it. But yeah, he hasn't gone with something that his civilization would prefer in the stable units. He's created 4 militia. Now sure, he's killed everything that MbL had there, but now what are these militia going to do? By the time they get to MbL's base, MbL might be prepared and in feudal age. So that's at least the idea. Now, a lot of times, when someone's Drushfast castling, as I said, they're stuck in Dark Age. They can't create any defensive towers. So what you'll see sometimes is players will go forward with villagers. They'll have their man-at-arms, or their militia in this case, and they'll get villagers forward. And you attack the wall with your units, and then you build a tower behind that, so the opponent can't quick wall. But MbL, he's gone to stone nice and early, so he might expect that he need more than 1 tower, and he has 2 palisade walls here. I know it looks a little bit weird with capture age, but he's got it. And all of his farms are built in the backside, just in case towers were to come in. This has all been thought through by MbL. So we'll see what DauT decides to do. Yeah, this is pretty common. MbL is even scouting this. Very important that he knows this is like where exactly the towers are going to go up, so he's prepped. But now we have to talk about the whole chat thing. It's not going to come into play just yet, but if you notice, MbL's on the way to feudal age, and in a moment he's going to be in feudal age, and at the top left of your screen you're going to see the in-game chat. Now, that is the exact area, and it is in the exact same font and color of the text that would show up if a player were to just type. So MbL, expecting the tower, is building a tower here already and repairing his house. And I'll actually page up here. You can see from earlier, DauT advanced to the feudal age, MbL advanced to the feudal age, right? So the idea of the chat trick, if you find yourself in the situation where it'd be useful, is you can actually just type enter and type into the game room just like you'd be saying LOL, and you can say advance to the feudal age or castle age or imperial age, and it can really mind game and trick your opponent. If you look in the video description, I actually have a game where this worked before between Slam and Metal. I highly recommend you guys check that one out. I think it was over a year ago now. This is extremely rare to see. So good defense from MbL. However, I am kind of worried for him, guys. He only has 400 food, 258 gold. So he doesn't have the 800 food, and he doesn't have the 200 gold that he initially would have wanted to go to Castle Age, but he is defending himself. But credit to DauT, remember, he hit Feudal Age faster, so he got his double bit axe techs. He has his faster villagers, so he's going to get the heck out of here. I like how he didn't get the man-at-arms tech. That wouldn't have been useful for him. And man, what is this from MbL? This is ballsy, is what it is. Remember, MbL has some good scouting. He sees this hill. He sees all 3 golds are there for DauT. Something tells me he might be trying to tower somewhere. Oh, maybe he wants to tower the woodline, actually. He doesn't know much about that, though. I'm not sure. Not sure what he's doing with these 2 ladies. But I'm thinking maybe tower the gold. I find this extremely risky, though, because DauT's already creating some archers. It would be just like MbL to be able to somehow get this up without DauT seeing it. Look at that! Are you kidding me? That's what you get from playing thousands upon thousands upon thousands upon thousands of games. Perfect tower placement. That's unreal. if you placed it one more tile to the left, DauT would spot it, and DauT would kill those 2 villagers. That is such a fat dragon tower. Now, DauT might be suspicious because he sees MbL's scout around here. And I'm not even sure the tower is going to range all the gold. I'm not sure it's going to stay up for very long. But that's... Man, those things are so impressive. I feel like if most of us were to place that tower, that wouldn't do much for us. So it wasn't the fastest castle time from MbL. However, he is going to click up to Castle Age now. Now, if he wanted to, he could just type Advanced to Castle Age, Enter. Make it look exactly like this, and DauT might be fooled if you didn't pay attention to the bottom right where it shows your current age. Is this something that should be allowed in tournaments? No. It really shouldn't. You know, this is just a rated game. Also, keep in mind that I think that might be something that's literally not allowed in tournaments because of some rules and regulations. But I'm not too sure on that. This isn't a tournament, but just wanted to point out that it is a cheese strategy. DauT can still take some of his gold, but the more upgrades that MbL ends up getting, the more effective that tower is going to be. And MbL is building a defensive tower here. Remember, he hasn't moved out with any of his archers yet. Realizes that DauT's on the move. I would like to see DauT try and tower behind here. I have a feeling that some of these villagers are going to be hit. Yeah, that's a fairly obvious one. But if he towers behind here, then MbL might not be able to take wood later on. But here comes MbL, and this is not something that DauT has spotted. Maybe caught a glimpse of it as the archers ran through outside the hole in the wall that MbL created. I almost said he built a hole in the wall, which isn't a thing, but... Yeah, MbL's on the way, and you'll see it on the left-hand side. Wait for it. Boom. MbL advanced to the Castle Age. Now, this is legit. He is actually advanced to the Castle Age, and DauT is pretty far behind right now. Britain crossbows get +1 range. Britain archers get +1 range starting in the Castle Age. So these things, they have 6 range before they're even crossbowmen, before they even get bodkin arrow. And it's just the perfect storm for MbL. He's defended at home, and then he gets to his opponent's base where the guy has only hills and all forward resources. This is exactly what MbL would have wanted. And it's up to DauT now to somehow trap this army and somehow kill this army, because he doesn't seem anywhere near the Castle Age upgrade himself. Does have a tower here, and does have skirmishers with armor, so it is definitely possible for DauT that he could maybe tempt MbL to run in. But as I say that, DauT, what are you doing? That was rough. That was really rough to see. He didn't send the skirmishers in at all. And he lost a bunch of villagers there. Now, meanwhile, I'm sure he was preoccupied with repairing his tower here and trying to distract MbL as much as possible. But MbL, look at that town center, man. He's going to build a town center there as he micros against these skirmishers on this side. Does have bodkin arrow, which means he has 8 range. DauT's range is only 5. So 3 range difference, while skirmishers can normally close in against archer fire with armor. No amount of armor is going to be able to save you from MbL's micro as long as MbL plays this correctly. MbL is at risk of being trapped in here, though. He can only run so far. So maybe DauT is close to dealing with this. And yeah, I think he is getting closer now. Not to the Castle Age, but he's definitely getting closer to cleaning up this force, which has caused him so many problems. Well played, DauT. I like how he has 2 separate groups shooting at different times. That can be helpful, so when one group fires, the other group is kind of running in closer. Actually, as I say that, he kind of stopped doing that. But yeah, he's going to kill these units. He's going to kill these units. MbL is just so far ahead, though. 23 kills, make that 24. Look at this micro from MbL! Sick play from him. Sick strategy for this map. Now he's getting in the minimum range of the skirmishers, so some of them can't even hit him. Oh my god, DauT has got to be so tilted! MbL is going to keep the crossbows alive. He has to send even more skirmishers back here. 32 kills and 14 deaths for MbL. Jeez. Well, okay, MbL did take some losses here. This tower is being extremely annoying. And MbL will end up losing that crossbow. But I like MbL's position. The only thing I don't like about MbL's position is the lack of wood right now. But that problem gets solved once he kills that tower, and he does. So, not the prettiest eco I've ever seen, but MbL's only 3 villagers behind. If DauT does click to Castle Age, and I'm sure he will soon, then his TC, his only TC, will be idle as that upgrade's coming in. So that will amount to a pretty solid lead for MbL. Probably about a 10 villager lead. Considering MbL has 2 TCs to create vills out of, is only 2 vills behind, and DauT's TC will be idle. Yeah, probably about 10 to 12 vill lead for MbL in 10-15 minutes. And he continues to create these crossbows. I really like how he hid the archer ranges. Like, that's a big factor here. DauT might not have expected that initial attack because the archer ranges were hidden. I also like how MbL towered this right-hand side. It's making life even more complicated. And now he's back on the left-hand side. So, it really feels like there's no way MbL can lose this game. You know? That's what it feels like. He now actually has the villager lead. He's sniping DauT's villagers everywhere you look. DauT doesn't have the best map. DauT didn't really have the best reaction to the strategy from MbL. 69 population for MbL. Nice. And 53 population for DauT. And DauT will probably... Well, it's probably going to get a whole lot worse for him. He sends these archers in to try and do something. And the villagers were going over there probably to tower the wood line. And MbL just playing perfectly here, guys. He expects that he might be towered there. And just sitting here is easy enough for him. Every time the lumberjacks have to drop off wood, MbL is there. So, MbL's clearly winning this game. There's no way that DauT could ever surprise him. But, if MbL wanted to try something, because he's so far ahead, if he wanted to act like he was in the Imperial Age to get DauT to tap out of this one, it's certainly possible. And that's what you've seen in the title of this video. That is what you have seen in the thumbnail for this video. MbL, he only has 84 food, so he's really nowhere near to clicking up to the next stage. Obviously has a huge lead. As I said, about 12 to... What did I say? 12 to 15 villager lead? Yeah, that's exactly where he's going to be at. 15 vill lead. Make that. As DauT hits Castle Age. He's going to do it, guys. And, oh wow, he's even killing these villagers here. MbL is just all over DauT in this game. I could see why DauT could have some problems against this Civ and with this map. But he's still trying. He's thinking, okay, my opponent's making only archers. Let's go for the Elite Skirm upgrade. That is the counter. Still, it's a concern that MbL outranges him. It's really not the prettiest eco ever for MbL, but he's made it work in this game. 91 population for him now. Even building more towers on the right-hand side. Not something that DauT has been able to deal with, because he's so preoccupied with these crossbows. Only 50 food for MbL. That vill count continues to go up for him. Nowhere near the Imperial Age, though. Should be in cruise control now. He has a 1,000 score lead. Even getting the ballistics upgrade after getting his armor. DauT's still trying. I don't know like what the order was of the games, but it could be first game of the day syndrome. And there it is! MbL says has advanced to the Imperial Age. DauT immediately GG's. MbL wasn't anywhere close. He had 171 food. But he just typed has advanced to the Imperial Age. He didn't even have the correct punctuation. But it worked because DauT saw something similar to what he always sees in every game at the top left with his peripheral vision. And he heard the same noise. Now, should that probably be changed at some point and people keep abusing this? Yeah, maybe. But I just found this was really funny and something that you guys might have wanted to see yourselves. Metal tried this against Slam in that other YouTube video you can look in the video description for. It played out in a different scenario, and I think it helped him win the game more than it did in this match. But since this was very recent, and since there were a lot of people who probably haven't seen this trick before, I figured I'd send it to YouTube. Overall, though, MbL's play was near perfect. Lately, his games have been so good. I'm sure you guys have seen it if you've been watching YouTube uploads. I actually have some other games with MbL that'll come to YouTube soon. But that Drushfast Castle just looked so easy for him. I think that where DauT went wrong was probably the Man-at-Arms choice. I think that sometimes you just have to weather the storm with the Drush, maybe go for scouts. The big reason I say scouts here is because Berbers would ideally be going with stable units in this game. And maybe if you open up with scouts, despite the rough map, you get more farms up, so you get faster food income, and then you can get to your cheap knights and your skirmishers. But the focus on this game was always going to be the chat trick. So if you guys bear with me here, I'm really tired. It's 1 a.m. and I was noob enough to not prepare. I'm actually going to bring up the clip here. What's funny about this is DauT and MbL were both streaming on their point of views. MbL, I'm going to plug their streams in the video description if you want to check it out. But anyways, I'm actually going to skip the achievements, and I'm just going to pull up the clip so you can see what DauT saw on his point of view and how he reacted to this when it happened. Because all that we saw was the in-game stuff. But after the game shut down, we didn't see any in-game chat because it's not stored. So just give me one moment, guys. Sorry about my lack of professionalism here, I guess. Yeah, I find it hilarious. And again, if this happened at a tournament, I think there could be a bit of salt between the players. It could be seen as bad manners. But these guys are good friends. They play games all the time together. And we're going to end the video on DauT's point of view. Now, if you look at DauT's Twitch channel, here we go. If you look at DauT's Twitch channel, you'll see his clips. Look who made this clip. How to make DauT resign. Who made it? MbL made it.
Yesterday I removed his bloodline completely. And we see how it goes. Okay, good game. His economy is too much ahead. Oh! Fucker! I was like, how is it possible? That was actually funny. I was like, I know I lost a lot of villagers. But I didn't think it was possible. Like, okay, maybe 1 TC, but even then he lost the towers. Freaking lamer boy, man.